body, spirit, but our healing ability is so magnificent that it must be respected when we say we prefer the less intervention approach.
Exactly.
I believe in taking less medicine. I'd rather not take medicine. I'd rather food be my medicine. I'd rather work on my overall health, which means sleeping properly, eating properly, exercise, positive thinking. Walking is an art form. Sitting properly in your chair, not causing structural defects through sitting with poor posture. I mean, there's so many subtle things that go into the self and being healthy.
And I want to take it a step further on that tip too, and that's it. You know, every culture has its ancient and its medicinal, traditional healing customs. Every culture.
Right.
And many of these healing customs go back thousands and thousands of years. They predate the concept of Western, what we call Western medicine, what we call vaccine technology, whatever. They predate these things by thousands of years, and they are relevant and still in use. They are still very potent and very powerful. In fact, they've only grown more powerful with thousands of years of use, more effective, more safe and effective, truly safe and effective. And so when I saw this whole sort of like total raising of this Western medicine approach onto a pedestal above all other medicinal art forms, which are, and we spent probably the last 20 years really having this big acknowledgement of medicine like acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine. We've had really a great acknowledgement of Ayurveda, all these things. And so, it's not like we as a massive group in humanity weren't aware of the traditional medicinal forms. We didn't really shine the spotlight on African medicine, but African medicine is, in many cases, even more effective and even more powerful and more ancient. And when I say Africa, I mean that loosely because Africa is huge.
Right.
But to see this hoisting of this
pharmacology.
Yeah, of this pharma, which grew out of a certain small area of Europe during a certain time period when these ideas were coupled with a lot of other, to see that hoisted on a pedestal, as I said, if you don't see that this is biased, if you don't see that this is, in a way, racist, if you don't see this, then maybe that shows that how much conditioning we've all been through.
Right. Excellent. There's a book that I need to get a copy of this book because I've actually been referencing it for years and I haven't read the book. But I heard an interview with a doctor named Dr. Joel Wallach, and he wrote a book called, maybe I could get him as a guest on the show one day, depending on his stance on COVID. Hopefully he was one of the brave ones. I gotta go track him down. But Dr. Joel Wallach wrote this book called Dead Doctors Don't Lie, and the premise of the book is that doctors actually have a very average life expectancy, which is an incredibly important observation that I think we should examine, which is if these people are responsible for wellness and longevity, why do they have nothing to show for it themselves?
Right.
They're dying just like average people.
Well, I'm going to add something to that, and that is I just met, I was playing out in Union Square, and this woman came and danced in front of us, and I said, who is she? And she gave me her name. I'm not going to mention her name. But it turns out that she is a doctor, and she has been doing a lot of work on workshops and writing papers on how to deal with depression in the medical industry. And it turns out that the medical industry is one of the most depressed of industries.
And that's not good for your health.
And that there is a statistic of over 400 suicides among doctors and people in the medical industry per year. And so what this means is that there is something going on in that medical profession, medical industry, that needs really careful attention.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's interesting, you flashed me back